Which brings us finally to the most important award in basketball, the Most Valuable Player award. This is an award that has honestly been... has it been a storybook award?
It is a storybook. It's one of the most, I think, vague awards.
It's pretty vague. So this award is technically considered the most valuable player. Now, valuable is the key word there. Now, valuable, the reason why it's a key word is because people think of it as this very subjective or very relative term. People think, oh, well,
I think that's a key word, subjective. This award is the definition of subjective.
It's like you can say, okay, well, LeBron is the most valuable player on his team because if you take him out of his team, look what happened. You become Cleveland. But then you can also be like, oh, look at how much he does on the court for you. Like, look how many points he drops. And, in the case of Russell Westbrook, he averaged a triple-double and got the Thunder to the playoffs.
It's a lot of different things, right? The story is a huge aspect of it. And then also you have to also be a top seed. The only time in recent history is important. Yeah, the only time in recent history that a top seeded Westbrook. Westbrook was not. He did not have a top seed in the West. But it was one of those things about the storyline, right? Kevin Durant leaves him. He averages a triple-double. He gets the team to the playoffs.
Yeah.
The last game of the season, he gets a buzzer beater to pass the triple-double record of Oscar Robertson while knocking Denver out the playoffs. That was a legendary.
It was a good shot.
That was a legendary game, right? This award is the definition of subjective. So I think in terms of our first candidate, if we want to be real, you could give this guy the award every single year, and he deserves this award every single year, and it's LeBron James, right? We're talking about for the past probably 10 years.
Well, he is the most valuable player in the league. Like, in terms of, like, not even just on the court, on what he does for your team and what he does for your franchise, it's what he does off the court for the league as well. Like, he makes the league so much money and revenue. He's the public face of the NBA. And there really isn't anybody next in line who can fill those shoes. Like, when LeBron eventually retires, I don't know who can fill those, man. Like, I don't think we're ever going to see a player like this again, man.
Well, I mean, people did say that about Michael Jordan, and then LeBron James came. But I think it'll be a process, for sure. It'll be weird without LeBron James in the league.
Incredibly weird.
Yeah.
But in year 18, you can still see LeBron James is just by far the best player in the league. Like, I don't think the Lakers would be as good as they... Like, the Lakers would not be as good as they are without LeBron.
No, definitely not.
And that's just a testament to how great he is.
And then you see him, especially, he coached during the season, and then you see his impact in the playoffs, and when he really turns it up in the
player, man.
He's crazy, man. Like, the shots that he's taking in the season, you're looking at some of his three-pointers, and you're like, oh, brick. And when you get to the playoffs, he's making fadeaways, swish.
Spinning the ball.
Again, as Raptors fans, we've been traumatized by him.
We've been incredibly traumatized by this guy. But you can't deny it. Like, when you're being traumatized and destroyed by arguably the GOAT of this generation...
No, not arguably. He is.
Yeah, he is the GOAT of this generation. Who am I kidding? It's just... There's nothing more I can say to convince anyone. LeBron James is clearly... He's always in the MVP conversation because he is the most valuable player in the league.
Again, for this season, they might just coast him so hard that, like, his production is nowhere near to the rest of the MVP candidates.
Yeah, instead of 27, 8, and 9, he'll be like 25, 7, and 8.
Yeah, maybe.
A bad year, man.
Yeah, a bad year. Yo, is LeBron turning into one of the worst players? Again, that might be the case, but his name alone and his brand recognition, I think, is just there. Is going to get him to that spot.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. So LeBron is the first candidate for the MVP award, in our opinion. The second candidate, obviously, he's my guy. I've been on his hype train since day one. Luka Doncic. Now, although he hasn't had the greatest start to the regular season, honestly speaking, I think he's going to turn it around, and I think he's after what he did in last season's playoffs and last season for the Mavs, man. I think this guy's going to take a next step. He's just so great, man.
He's arguably, I've said this before, the trajectory that he's going on, he can end up as arguably the greatest player of all time.
He's just the trajectory. Great.
Yeah, just the trajectories that he's going on. He's already a triple-double machine. He already leads his team to the playoffs. He's already one of the best players in the NBA. And the impact that he has is just insane, right?
Another thing on the value point that we said about LeBron, the Mavs wouldn't even be this good without Luka. No. I don't think Mark Cuban even knew how good Luka was going to be when he drafted him. I don't like. I really don't think he thought this guy was gonna be this good.
I don't think anybody could predict how he would be this good. I know a lot of people, like you included, thought he was gonna be really good, but I don't think you could predict it that he would be this good.
I didn't.
Not this good. This is what he's able to do right now in just his third season is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the main thing about him is will his team be high enough, as a top.
That's the question.
4 seed
to
be able to qualify him.
But maybe his story will also help him being in his third season in the NBA, being this fantastic could catapult him to maybe an MVP, at least in the MVP conversation.
Possibly.
But yeah, I admit like the seeding is going to be very key for Luka this year.
And then finally we have our third candidate for the MVP award.
We're going to keep putting him in.
Nicole Yokic. Listen, he's been one of the candidates for the last number of years, especially after last year, what he did in the playoffs, right? And what people I think were underrating him, and some people just weren't looking at him. After last season's playoffs, he's on everyone's radar. Everyone knows who he is, and everyone knows what kind of player he is.
I think, arguably, you can say he's probably one of the most complete bigs in the league, in the sense that he can score, he can pass, he can decently defend. I'm not going to say he's the best defender.
I mean, even decently is a stretch.
He's gotten better.
He's gotten better, for sure. The main thing about Nicole Jokic you can say for him already in his short NBA career is that he's arguably the greatest big man passer of all time.
Dude, already. The passes he makes are insane, man. Like
court vision
he'll get the rebound, go bang. Like literally like a quarterback throw, like when you like throwing that Hail Mary, it's easy. Like he'll just throw
it. You can just point to the game he had last time. Who was it against Houston, right? Where he had a crazy triple double. Yeah, he had like 18 assists Houston, or something. Something, bro. His court vision is absolutely insane. And that's the crazy thing, right? He passes the ball so much that he only averages like 18, 20 points a game. But when you see him in the playoffs and when they need him to score the ball and other guys are obviously not making their shots, this guy's able to score 30, 35 points when he needs to. And that just shows how great of a player he is, that he can be such a great facilitator. And then when you need him to, similar to, I think, LeBron as well, when you need them to, they can score with the best of them. Yeah. And he is one of the best players in the league, hands down. He's the best center in the league, at least for me. I would say he's definitely the best center in the league.
It's like his style is so unorthodox too, and it's just you just laugh when his crazy hook shot just goes in.
His one-legged shots, fadeaways,
but they work, man. And he'll beat you with like a dump off pass and like a crazy pass. Like Jokic is a very good player.
And the thing about Denver is too, they could possibly be a top 3 seed in the league this year in the Western Conference. So that could really help them as well. They've been a top seed for the last 2 years already. So if they're able to achieve that top 3 seed in this year's Western Conference, hey, he could win it.
Yeah. Now, how likely will he win it? Not really sure. But if we're gonna move on to our who we think is going to actually win the MVP, who we'll be leaning towards as of right now, we're going with Luka Doncic just because of the fact that, man, this guy hasn't nearly hit his ceiling yet, man. We're expecting him to go from where he is now to go to about here. Like that's where we think he can go. Now, whether or not he does it, now that's yet to be seen.
The main thing, I think, the thing about Luka Doncic, is the fact that obviously we're probably going to eliminate LeBron from this conversation just because of the fact that he's won it multiple times. I don't think he's going to care enough.
There's voter fatigue.
Yeah, voter fatigue. I don't think he's going to care enough about it. In terms of Luka Doncic versus Nicole Jokic for us, the main thing is that Luka Doncic is a guard.
Yeah.
Right? Historically, big men are underappreciated. Well, this is a guard league historically.
This is a guards league now.
Right now, big men are underappreciated.
Thanks to Steph Curry, it's a guards league now.
Who was the last big man to win it? Dirk? I think.
When did Dirk? Tim Duncan won.
Tim Duncan won before Dirk, I think. Though.
Who is the last one? Kevin Garnett?
KG won in...
No, he won it before.
Yeah, he won in 2004 or whatever it was.
Oh, man.
I think it might have been Dirk.
It might have been Dirk, honestly.
Yeah, it might have been Dirk, the last big man.
I can't remember anybody
And the thing with Dirk was that he was such a great offensive player and so unorthodox in terms of what people had expected from the power forward position before him.
Yeah.
Right, and what he turned the power forward position into after him. So yeah, like Dirk, I think might have been the last big man to win the MVP award. So in terms of that respect, I think that also works well for Luka Doncic. In terms of the fact that it is a guards league, right? So I think that could also help him in his case.
Yeah. Who? Yeah. It's Dirk.
I mean, I guess if you want to classify Giannis as a big man, I guess, but Giannis is more of a wing kind of player. The last true big man, I think, was probably Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, Dirk. Dirk. If not, you can go Kevin Garnett. But that's crazy, man. Dirk Nowitzki is the last big who's actually won the MVP award. But yeah, we feel it's gonna be Luka Doncic is gonna be winning the MVP award. Let us know what you guys think. Do you guys agree or disagree with our awards picks?